Hey, what's going on, guys? Corey from Lion Dads, and today I want to go over a subject that I get asked about all the time, and that is, do I need to track my calories and my macros on a carnivore diet? And that's a good question, because when many of us start looking for a diet or a new way of eating, a concept that always gets introduced by people is calories in and calories out. And I did do a video a while back on calories and if I think they matter, and I'll kind of retouch on that, but mainly I want to go over that question of tracking calories and macros and if it's really necessary. So we all pretty much know, or at least we think we know, what calories are as far as being like a measurement of energy or quantifying the amount of food you're taking in and burning, or whatever different people choose to believe calories are, as like this tangible thing that you can measure your food in as far as what you're taking in and burning. But what is a macro? So a macro is a macronutrient, which the three main macronutrients are protein, fat, and carbohydrates. And they each have a certain amount of calories per gram, with fat being the highest, and then protein and fat each or protein and carbs are each a little bit less. And for all my bodybuilding, bro science guys watching, you guys all have studied and you all know this stuff. So I'll kind of touch on my history with tracking calories. When I first was told that I needed to only worry about calories as a way to lose weight, that's pretty much what I did. I downloaded MyFitnessPal, started putting all my, trash-ass foods that I was eating in there because I was a sugar, dopamine-addicted foodie guy, and there was no way in hell I was going to be giving up all my delicious, foods to make me feel good, right? And, I saw this, meaningless to me at the time number, which was the amount of calories I was eating. So since me back then didn't bother to do any research or anything, and because I was a dumbass, I didn't really bother to look at the macros other than, knowing I needed protein, to build muscle. But other than that, I didn't really pay attention to how much I needed or anything. But I didn't bother to look at the macros, which were as plain as day right in front of my face, because my fat ass thought that only really calories mattered. And that's just because someone skinnier than me said so. So I put in all the data that calculates how much I would need to lose weight, and it gave me the magic number of 2,700 calories. And that's my magic number, folks. It's 2,700 calories to lose a pound a week or something like that. So I did that, and it worked. I'll be the first to tell you, it actually did work. I was able to eat all the garbage ass standard American diet food that 2,700 calories would give me, which was disappointingly little. And I basically just started losing weight. I started losing strength and energy too. Like I said, I was trying to get in protein. I was drinking shakes and trying to get, eat a chicken breast every now and then, all that stuff. But I didn't really look at like the exact grams or anything like that. But I started losing strength and energy too, but who cares at that point? I was losing weight, and that's what I needed to do, and that just came with it. So how exciting, right? And then now I know I needed protein. Like I said, I kind of had an idea how much, but I really didn't have an idea how much, and I just thought, probably some percentage of my body weight in grams had to go to protein. And I know I needed fat, probably not that much, because I was told my whole life that fat was bad for me. And I just knew I needed carbs, because for a guy lifting weights and everything, that's where our energy in the gym comes from, right? That's what you're always told. You got to eat all these carbs, right, especially right around your workout time, to get all this energy, or else you're going to have a shitty workout. And I would never have a good workout again if I didn't eat all these carbs. So I made sure I was eating some veggies and some oatmeal and stuff, but mostly, I was eating fast food and junk and stuff and staying on the high side of protein of that. And I tracked it and I lost weight for a while anyway. So you see, after a certain amount of time, I stopped losing weight. Not very long either. It was really just like a month or two. And I was down 10 pounds, but of course, I back then, this was a long time ago. So I was probably, I don't know the weight anymore. But I wanted more and I started to panic. So I dropped my calories down to 2,500 calories. And that worked for a while. It did. It kick-started my weight loss again, but then it stalled out. So then 2,300 calories and then 2,100 calories. And then I said, fuck this, and I gave up. It just wasn't worth it to me anymore. So I got fat again. And I'll mention again that the whole time, this is way back, by the way, before carnivore. This is like 2016, 17, something like that. And then, so I got fat again. And I'll mention again that the whole time I felt like absolute, shit. I still had aches and pains in my joints even while I was losing the weight. I still had horrific allergies that, have plagued me for almost my whole life, with the exception of the last few years. And, I'd break out in rashes and eczema and all this kind of stuff. Awful shit. It was awful. And so after that, I really started looking at like YouTube videos on fitness. Pretty big influencers that I'm not going to mention, and then I started getting more into learning about macros, way more in depth than I'd paid attention to, more than just the protein and stuff. And they talked about the importance of protein, fats, and carbs, and that if you balanced these with calories, it would work better. And so I modified my diet to reflect what they talked about. I did the whole eating of a gram of protein per pound of body weight. I ate lower fats to keep calories low, what I know now. And of course, shitloads of carbs, especially taking fiber into account and all that stuff, because, fiber doesn't, they make it to where it like doesn't count and it keeps calories low. And so they say. So I found all these awesome foods at the store, like at least that I thought were awesome at the time, like these high protein donuts and chips and shit. The stuff companies that make these, they put whey protein powder in everything, liquid egg whites. I poured it all over and made like French toast out of it. Some of these dudes tell you to make. And I did see better gym performance than I was before, for sure. And I wasn't getting, jacked like all these YouTubers and stuff, but I figured I'd keep working at it and I eventually would. And unfortunately, all my same ailments kind of stuck around and some got worse. And on top of that, I had the same calorie issue where I'd stall out, stop losing weight, and had to do like all this insane cardio and shit to keep that going. And then a lot of these dudes that I was watching on YouTube started putting out videos where they were like on gear and shit, doing SARMs and other anabolic stuff, which, I kind of figured they may have been, but it was like, man, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of listening to this crap. You're telling me I had to eat this way, and then you come out and it's like, but I look like this because I'm on gear. Whatever. So I just kind of took a more relaxed approach to this high protein standard. It's still a standard American diet, but just a higher protein version of it, right? And I still learned a lot about protein, a lot more than what I knew before, which I do think helped me, but I ended up putting a lot of fat back on again while I was still working out and trying to get back in good shape. So that led to me back to my health issues, which never really went away, but then they just kind of increased where I thought I was having a heart attack, but turned out to be really bad heartburn and indigestion and stuff like that. And some of my buddies at work, they were doing keto at the time, and I had been thinking about trying it out. I'd seen their results, and guys were losing weight and all that kind of stuff. But I had been prioritizing protein for so long, and I had heard fat demonized all over the place as I'd been doing my research for years, and I grew up thinking, fat was bad for you, and I just couldn't wrap my head around people doing keto and eating all this fat. And they were also tracking calories, and they were not getting nearly the protein that now I was in my mind, like, you got to be eating so much protein, and they weren't getting as much of it as I liked. And but I kept doing the research on it. You know what I mean? I kept looking into it because I saw it working for people. And so I think I Googled one day, like, is keto mostly meat? And because they were eating all these, like, bacon and eggs and stuff on top of, like, avocado, which I can't eat avocado anyway. I'm allergic to it. And I'm allergic to, like, tons of vegetables, which is why this diet's really good for me. But and then all this carnivore diet stuff came up when I Googled, like, is keto basically meat? So I saw the Sean Baker, Joe Rogan podcast, saw Jordan Peterson, Michaela Peterson, all that stuff on Joe Rogan. I saw some videos from some other guy that I can't even find his videos now, and I don't remember who he is, talking about all these amazing benefits on the carnivore diet. Calories don't matter. He said calories don't matter, and blah, blah, blah. And then once I had that health scare, I was desperate, and I said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go all in on this and see what happens. And so if you've seen my content, the rest is history. I did it. I didn't do any calorie or macro tracking. I lost over 70 some odd pounds. I kept it off when I wanted to. I went on a bulk, gained about 20 pounds back when I wanted to without tracking, just adding more fats strategically, as I've said in a prior video. Now I'm losing fat again, and I've done all of this with no calorie tracking, no macro tracking, just intuitive eating meat, knowing I'm getting the right amount of protein and fats. I have tracked at certain points during the last few years that I've been carnivore, and I was shocked as hell to see how much I was eating. So the first summer I did this, for example, I tracked for like a couple weeks just to see. And there were days where I was like, damn, I ate 5,000 calories today, and I would keep losing weight. I would just keep losing weight. And if I ate that much on one of my other diets, Fat City, man, I'd be morbidly obese. Phone's blowing up. But, I would have gotten fat as hell. And like I said, calories matter. I proved that by going on a bulk. But if you just eat intuitively, you'll be fine on this way of eating no matter what your goal is. You can make it work easy. I also stopped tracking the macros, but when I've looked at them during the calorie tracking, I was getting like 250 grams of protein or more a day, which is about what I weighed at the top of my bulk a few weeks ago, like several weeks ago, when I just decided it's time to start cutting down now. I was about 250 pounds. So in that way, I was kind of doing the 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight a day thing. So without trying, plenty of protein. All the rest is fat, unless I have a rare day where I slip and have something I'm not supposed to, which I don't do hardly ever at all. Mostly just like special occasions, like a kid's birthday or whatever. So, and then there might be like a little bit of carbs, but I'm really conscious about limiting myself, even when I do kind of go off the wagon. But all those ailments that I mentioned, gone, obviously. I'm off all my allergy meds. I'm off all my indigestion meds. I haven't even had Tums. Shit, I can't remember how long it's been. I had some respiratory stuff that I dealt with for years, gone. No more skin rashes, eczema, nothing, because I know that I'm eating the right way. I'm getting the right nutrients. I'm getting the right kind of food that I'm supposed to be eating, that my body knows it's supposed to be getting. But it's gone against everything that I was taught. Everything I thought I knew, even stuff that I learned within the last 10 years, has been even debunked. So many people are on the internet telling you that there's this one way of doing things, and it works for some people, I'm sure. You know what I mean? I've heard people thrive on just about every kind of diet. But for me and so many other people that I know, everybody I know who has tried this has literally been a lifesaver. the quality of life you get when you actually feel healthy is almost weird. Like it feels weird because you felt so fucked up for so long, you know. And I do all this, you know, without tracking. That's not me saying calories and macros don't exist or don't matter, but when you eat the right way, the actual right foods, your body will tell you when to eat and when not to. You won't understand unless you try it, I swear. I do think it's a good thing if you do track your calories now and then for a bit, you know, just to get a good idea of how much of what you're taking in or what you are taking in. It's kind of cool to see yourself lose weight at double, you know, the calories that you thought you had to, if that's the way your body works. You know, I'm not telling you to make it your goal to eat 5,000 calories a day. Trust me, that's a hell of a lot of food. I am overwhelmingly stuffed on the days where I've had that much. But I mean, just to check it out and see where you're at, and that it's really a whole different world out there than what you thought it was. So that should about do it for today, guys. If you like this video, you know, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your experience is with this, you know, counting calories and macros and keeping track of everything. If you're sick and tired of it, or if you want to keep doing it or whatever. This is a cool conversation to have. But as always, you know, I got links to my Twitter and Facebook down in the description. And also head over to lion-dads.com. Link to that is down there as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.